BRICS 2024. The BRICS Summit 2024 in Kazan, a world stage for Putin? From 22 to 24 October, it is the turn of President Vladimir Putin to host the 16th BRICS Summit. While the finance ministers and central bank governors are meeting in Washington this week for the traditional autumn meeting of the IMF and World Bank, a different kind of summit is taking place in Russia at the same time. From 22 to 24 October, it is the turn of President Vladimir Putin to host the 16th BRICS Summit. A total of 32 foreign delegations from all over the world are expected to attend, 24 of them at the level of heads of state and government, including all of the 9 BRICS members to date, as well as numerous other countries interested in membership, including with Turkey for the first time a NATO member state. It has not yet been confirmed whether UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres will also accept the Russian invitation to attend the summit. The summit was preceded by over 200 meetings and events over the course of 2024, which were organized by the Russian presidency. Putin is hosting the summit in Kazan, the capital of the Muslim-dominated Republic of Tatarstan. The choice of location was intended as a symbolic sign of Russia's anti-imperial orientation and solidarity with the global South against the Western colonial powers. The irony, however, is that Russia itself conquered most of its territory through the colonization of Siberia, the Caucasus and Central Asia, and the Tatars were one of the first peoples to be subjugated. To this day, they, like all other national minorities in the Russian Federation, are centrally controlled and dominated from Moscow. For Putin, the summit is the most important foreign policy event of the year, and he wants to use it to present himself on the world stage as a leader who is not internationally isolated, but who, the BRICS states, represents the future world majority, in terms of population and resources, and wants to enforce a multipolar world reorganization against rule-based multilateralism. In order to emphasize its claim to a prominent geopolitical position, Russia redefined the world majority as the Global South and Global East in the run-up to the Kazan summit, whereby Russia sees itself alongside China as the leading power of the Global East. In addition to the geopolitical significance of the meeting, economic cooperation and free access to new markets, as well as the creation of new financial and settlement instruments that are not dominated by the West, are of particular interest to Russia, which is subject to comprehensive Western economic sanctions due to the war against Ukraine. Both are reflected in the motto of the presidency, which reads, "Strengthening multilateralism for equitable global development and security." However, there is a wide gap between Russian aspirations and reality in many respects. Russia's intention to position the BRICS states as an alternative to the G7 and to pursue a strictly anti-Western course is meeting with resistance. Both the BRICS founding members India and Brazil, as well as the new members, with the exception of Iran, and many of the candidates, are pursuing a multi-vectoral foreign and economic policy, which also explicitly includes the continuation of bilateral cooperation with the West. This also applies decidedly to the countries of Central Asia and the South Caucasus, which Russia counts as part of its sphere of interest and influence. Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev declared immediately before the Kazan summit that his country would not be applying for BRICS membership in the foreseeable future due to the development prospects of this association. His press spokesman added that, in the national interest, Kazakhstan gives priority to the UN as the universal organization with no alternative, in which all current international problems can and must be discussed. Armenian President Nikol Pashinyan, who is attending the summit at Putin's invitation, also made it clear that his country is not seeking membership of BRICS. Russia also wants to use its BRICS status to expand its influence in Europe, for example in the Balkans. But even Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić, who was personally invited to the BRICS summit by Putin, is reported shying away from attending and to only send a representative. The second important concern of the Russian presidency has been the promotion and development of alternative financial instruments and clearing systems in order to minimize dependence on Western currencies, particularly the dollar, as well as the SWIFT system and the associated sanction risks. The creation of a BRICS common currency has so far proven to be unrealistic due to the very different economic and financial structures and monetary interests of the individual BRICS members. Or as Janvi Tripathi, Observer Research Foundation, put it at a BRICS webinar organized by FNF South Asia, BRICS is not even a single market yet.